The spooky season is upon us, and you know what that means. We finally get to talk about spooky things. Spooky. Today I want to go over some phobias that players might have here in Ponytown. Some things that might scare the average Ponytown player. Starting with, on the list, of course, losing OCs. That's right. One of the most number one fears that people have in the entire game is losing their characters. Obviously, you can come on here and you can edit your character and you can do all kinds of things. I can take him and I can be like, okay, he's gonna be this color, and I'm gonna split him down the middle, and he's gonna be half red for some reason. He's a half fez. Oh my god, what? And I can do all kinds of crazy things to this, and I can even name the character whatever. But some people make this mistake of forgetting to hit save and just quickly hitting close, or their power might go out or something like that. Any number of things can happen, and boom, that character is gone forever. I will never see it again. Of course, there are some situations where it'll usually recover it. For example, if I go on to edit a character right now, it will remember the last changes I did, and it will be on there, and I can quickly come on there and recover it. But sometimes things glitch out, and sometimes things go bad, and you just lose that character forever. Never, ever to see it again, unless you obviously remember what you did or took screenshots at some point or whatever else and you try to remake it. On the same vein, losing maps is another very common thing that a lot of people fear. I have this map here, for example. This is my map that I do for like different series on the channel and stuff, like the bad games, like right here. This is the bad games map. If I lose this map, that's going to be horrible because I'm going to have to either remake this or just do something entirely different or something. So obviously this is a fear of mine, losing some of the maps that I have. I have a lot of different maps. I have all kinds. Here, I'll even show you guys if I come on here and hit settings and then manage maps. I've actually lost a map before. I've lost one of these bad place, like Camp Bad Place islands before, and I had to completely remake it. Well, I didn't actually end up remaking it, but someone in this series had actually saved the map, so I was able to get it from them. But I've lost maps before, and it is not fun. Like games, nothing but games, that island took me forever to create because it has just a ton of different games on it. If I lost it, I could easily remake it because I know what all those different games are and stuff. But some of these, if I lose, I'm never gonna get back ever again, like the Stranded Island one, or Subway, or the 404 Island, or the Finale, or these, well, I guess Gartic Phone would be easy to remake or whatever, but like the Ponytown Core and all these other islands. Some of these say default, but they actually are important islands. If I lose any of them, they're gone forever, and I'll never ever be able to reach them again, and so that's something that actually worries me whenever I'm working on a map or something. I'm super careful whether or not I hit save map on my islands because I'm always scared that it might overwrite an island that I actually care about and I end up losing something. Another common fear here in Ponytown is OC theft. People making incredible or interesting OCs like myself here. Ooh, look at me, I'm Birthmark, oh my goodness. But say this person right here decides they want to take my character and steal it. It's actually pretty easy to do. All they have to do is take a screenshot of your character and then open up their editor and then start making that character. Once they're done, they just hit save and play, and boom, they're now that character, and they're that character for as much as they want to. It's on their list, they can switch to it whenever they want to, and they can pretend to be me as much as they want. It's actually extremely easy, and so this is another very common fear that people have, is like, oh, if I play the game with my cool OC, someone might see it and they might steal it or something. But it is such a shame that it happens, but it's something that isn't as common as you might think. People are generally pretty nice, and they're not going to steal your character, or if they do like your character, they might approach you and be like, hey, can I make a cause of your character, something like, you know, like a cosplay or whatever, or a my version of your character or something. And usually people are pretty nice about it, so it's not as common as you think, but it does happen. Like, people will just steal your character, and so it is another common fear, and it's something that even I have to worry about a little bit because obviously I make these videos on YouTube, and I already have plenty of like Skellas out there in the wild that people have cloned from me. You know, they've made Skellas and birthmarks and stuff like that, cosplays of my character basically. And some of these people, 99% of them, are very generous about it. They're very nice about it. They'll put MV in the name or something, or they'll put cosplay in the name or something like that. But others, the minority, will just not do that, and then they will go around the map pretending to be me, and they'll say some messed up stuff or do this or whatever else like that, and it can confuse people and thinking like, hey, what, you're a horrible person because you said this and that, even though it wasn't me, it was someone using my character. So obviously that's another very common fear, but another one that is super common as well is the fear of people being mean to you. This kind of goes hand in hand with like social anxiety and everything like that. But if I go to docs or whatever else like that, there's a fair likelihood that if I hang out here long enough, someone might start making fun of my character or something like that. Or if I go into let's say a raider line or something like that, there's a pretty fair likelihood that they might start making fun of my character or something like that. Even if I'm not in the line, there's still the likelihood they might just point out my character and say, hey, my tip to you is to not do what this person's doing because your character looks awful or garbage or something, right? And so that's obviously another big fear that people might have, is being judged horribly, or just people being mean in general, because sometimes people might come up to you and they might just start sneezing on you over and over again, or they might start like, I don't know, like kissing you or booping you or something, and then you're like, hey, can you please stop that? That bothers me. And then they just keep doing it anyway. So there's a lot of fears with just people being mean to you in general in the game, and that does happen, but again, it is a little bit of a minority, so take it that way you will. And let's move on to another fear in Ponytown. Another common fear, well, I guess this one's probably a little bit more uncommon, but another fear that people might have is that, oh no, my family member just walked in and they saw me playing this horse game or something like that. And then that can be a pretty common fear. I don't really know how to explain this more so than just like some people don't like the idea of people playing a horse game or anything to do with My Little Pony or whatever else like that, because it is a fear that some people have, and it does happen sometimes that people will come on and they're like, oh shit, my parents are about to walk in or something, and then they leave the game or something and close out of it, and then like 10 minutes later they come back in and they're like, okay, they didn't see me playing. And last but not least, a general fear that almost everyone has is social anxiety. Well, I'm not going to say almost everyone has that, but a lot of people in the game actually do have social anxiety. It's why you see a lot of players just kind of get on the game and then they sit AFK somewhere, or like this guy right here, they've probably been AFK there for a while, or like this person just sitting there, just basically doing nothing, sitting there doing nothing. These people just hanging out with people they already know, all this kind of stuff. Like generally, there's quite a few people here that have social anxiety and don't like to interact with others, but also aren't 100% against it because that's the point of the game and they're playing it. So yeah, it's something that a lot of people have, is social anxiety in the game. But let me know if there's any other fears you have playing Ponytown in the comments down below, because I'd love to hear those. If I get enough of those new fears that I haven't mentioned in this video, maybe I will make another video like this one, showing even more fears that people have in Ponytown. But until then, please do consider liking, subscribing, sharing, and doing all of those wonderful things like that, because when you do wonderful things like that, not only do you get access to wonderful content such as this, but you also get to become wonderful for yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.